I'm in a zone in my releases. So I wanted to spend some time, come share it with you, because it's about you and us and everything. I just kind of like took a plunge. I've been thinking about it for a few days of how I even do this, but like this is how it's been going for 2 years. Like I just go into the tech releasing stuff, and then I have a lot of info around me to pull at as I feel about stuff. So then I've just been doing that, and then I get to your section. I go look back at the thing, at the message. All this stuff kind of falls in place, and now like here I am like telling the genetic story now, and how like I'm intertwined with it and you. So like this is how it works. Like there's no carryover to the sperm and the egg, okay? Like there's no carryover genetics to the sperm and the egg. Like the sperm and the egg don't send any info like downward into the fetus. When they come together, it's like the spark plug, and then an 8-pointed Merkaba star can slip into that space, and then from there, the engine of that runs the vortex. So the sperm and the egg are just like spark plug, and then everything goes away. And then the Merkaba enters, and then now the vortex of the Merkaba is creating the program, which is the template of the blueprint of the organs in the body. So then it's the environment of the mother's womb and the mother's urine, because urine is blood plasma. So the waters are what create the genetics and turn things on and off as it starts to continue vortexing. So it's like a 3D printer. So everything, so the father really has no effect on the child genetically, none whatsoever. And the only effect the father really has on the baby while it's in the womb is how the mother feels and thinks about about whoever she thinks the father is, whoever she had sex with. But like with everything going on, like if you think I never messaged you back and all that stuff, I think I confessed my love to you, and then I think you said goodbye, and then you think I never said anything back, and then you get wrapped up with this guy. Now you got to turn all those other thoughts off, but they're still running. So then how you're really feeling about him is reflected into the baby, which is really how you're feeling about me if we are the lovers I feel that we are. So then I'm like, now I'm releasing on the story, like how like, because my dad is now coming at me himself the last few days, like wanting to get in here at me, right? So I'm watching this between my parents at the same time. It's coming out with you and realizing that like, so like how all these people work. I can go out in public now and I can see everybody. And it's almost like I can see their entire life in front of me. Like I can see their replay. I can read their replay. Like it's not being psychic really anymore. It's really just about being able to read their replay, read the 3D printers. And now like, so then like we are like that. We are like this like weird, this like crazy ancient like back network test. I don't know. Like I said, I'm a kid, right? I'm reflecting out to my environment because of my parents. So then you and your sister came from your mother. That's like a double waters coming out. Like it would only be natural that I would fall in love, like with this whole energy of us, like. You know, like, and it's not like I said, like, it's not like I had, like, I just saw you. I only saw you. Like, and that's the Merkaba, right? Because the Merkaba supersedes the environment. Because that's what is moving around that's non-physical. So, like, the Merkaba is unique. and then it can, so like the faces are almost irrelevant. That's why I didn't see your sister's face. I only see you, you know? And that's why when people, like, I think when people see twins and they can't recognize, it's just themselves not seeing, going deeper into themselves and recognizing their own, like, you know, they, oh, it's the same. Instead of seeing character. So, like, what's going to happen now with AI, with everything going digital, is you're not going to know if a face is actually a real human or if it's actual computer image. So, like, part of my, like, my whole rollout in educating people is about how to notice deep fakes. So, like, all my filmmaking is done in a way, like there's smoke going or something, like, so you can see that it's like a real live capture. So we're talking for 3-4 years after London. I never confess how I really feel. I'm kind of somewhat dragging my feet because I'm still playing hockey, because I can't be totally present in one place. I am making all these excuses for myself because there's no technology. And then I get to the point where, like, technology's coming in, I'm reaching out to you, that gets closed down. Like, so that's like 6 years of time between, what, 20 and 25. Like, I mean, that's just subconscious thinking there. Like, that's what the environment is, right? You're storing your body. You're eating food, you're thinking, storing your body. You eat your food, you're thinking, you're storing your body. So that's why for me, like, epigenetically, basically knowing all this stuff, looking to present it somehow, not really having a channel to present it, and then in the last couple of weeks popping in here, and then now today releasing some pretty deep stuff, talking about basically all men are not, no men have children here. None of the men have children. Like, none of the genetic, there's no genetic carryover down from the male side, ever. It's all through the women's genetic waters, through the urine waters. This is like the biggest fucking cover-up of all. It's how you think about yourself. And the study of genetics. So that's what the vaccines now is going through us, the waters. The babies are going to be born with this vaccine, with this, like, new energy, this new program. So, like, I don't know how we get through, you know, to it. So, like, I mean, it's going to take 5-10 years, but, like, that's why I'm like, I do all my time stamping just ahead of everybody. So then the hand-me-downs through the waters, that means when I really woke up there, my third year pro, I was, like, my mom's adopted, so she doesn't know who her birth mother was. And I was getting, like, going kind of, I'm like, I don't want to fucking play, this is crazy shit, this is fucking nuts what is even going on. This is when, like, Bush and Obama was about to be president. And I got really animated, and then she asked me to go find out if I could find out if she could find out who her real birth mother was, like, through some company. So it took about 7 months, and my mom found out who her birth mother was. And I guess this is a real prominent family in Washington State. And found out all this other info about my mom's birth mother. That it links all the way back to, like, England and stuff. So there's something in my waters link, like, hardcore, like, and so, like, that link for you is just, you know, so then your children are really just a printing of your thoughts. That's it. The children are just a printer of your thoughts. So, like, it could be anything, right? Like, that's why, like, this time capsule is important to show like you, that the authenticity on my side about this whole situation, because, like, you know, only you know what you've been thinking for fucking 10 years, you know. Nobody's ever gonna know that. Like, not even your husband. Like, you know, nobody's gonna know, you know. And then, other than your child, but, like, ever since your child was born, it has had the external environment to take in information and to build upon as well. So the environment actually wants to take it from the baby. Like the environment wants to take the baby away from the mother as quickly as possible. So depending on like how you've done with that, use that, I could probably see you probably keeping your boys close to you. I would think. Which is if everything is like on point with us being lovers, would be even more of like a celebratory event, this time capsule and everything. And for me, because I'm sitting there going, like I'm almost like unburdening the guy as well, where he's got 10, 12 years of pressure of thinking he's got to provide and thinking he's got 20, 30 years left of this energetic bond, when if we can just energetically release ourselves from thoughts, I think all of our relationships will be better. You know, there's all there's like this mental matrix of how we think the world works that is like puts us all in these little boxes and makes us kind of replay our memories of being in the womb and an attack coming and we can't do anything. So I'm kind of like, you know, a unique version of just a twin, I think. Because there also is embryonic research that where every single fetus, one out of eight fetuses always starts out as a twin. So there could be some, I mean, I'm sure there's tons of like research they keep from us, all the embryonic research stuff. So the waters of you are what created the genes. It had nothing to do with the sperm. That's why like our unique experience, intimacy, I think had a major effect on both of us. But you being the woman, it's imprinted differently. So in the last couple of years into this research, like now as I'm stepping into my spiritual manhood, like I feel now responsible for what I did. Like for like somewhat not expressing to you how I feel. And now like that's why this time capsule is so important, because I feel it's my way of staying in your timeline and giving you energy without like allowing that masculine energy to, go too far, go overboard with thinking that because I'm not about a competition with any guy, right? Like that's the way I was in the room, like, so like I understand that a little more based on this, revisiting this. And then this is all happening right around my birthday, so like just the realization that like, wow, just your picture with your son like this and you there and you smile, and then that one picture we have where I'm like this and you're like that, it's like fucking like, it's freaky. It's kind of freaky, even if you show like an independent person that doesn't even know any of us. It's kind of freaky, like, but like I needed this much time processing all of the book work I've done for 10 years to get to the point where now I'm looking back at this and I can handle the info. Like it's freaky, like in a positive way, not like in a negative way, because it's like we're gonna fucking change like the whole dynamics of structures here if we're on point with all this. Okay, so this is how I'm gonna text Civi this so I can get in the pipeline, but this is how I'm gonna return to London. Like, I'll probably return like sometime in 2023 with two private military personnel, like literally all the time. So I'll have two private military personnel, two private like security people with me all the time, and with like 3 to 4 like entourage people, like spiritual, like yogis and stuff, like people that live a lifestyle like I live. So 3 to 4 entourage and 2 people security team permanent. So it's a 6-person entourage return, basically set up shop. And then, so now like anybody now can enter my field is now basically around these people, because these people are kind of like my, and they'll all be kind of hired people and all Canadians. It needs to be all Canadians, and I need to have them be hired people. Can't be favors. And then that way, like, now I just set up shop. My story is just public, right? Like, everyone's just gonna know my story and how, like, what happened with you. And then, like, you're just, you have the free will to walk into my field whenever you want. Like, that's the way it only can work. Anyways, that's the way I would have scripted it, I think. It makes, like, as I'm now in this position looking upward of how to get there, like, it's the only logical, because of COVID and everything going on and everything that I need to speak for, because I'm First Amendment type guy, like, so I have to take that paper contract game right over the border. All these individual names, they want us to identify with the individual name. Like, I'm so removed of Drew Larman, like, I'm using that whole story as, like, a huge shield to reach people, to be like, hey. Because, like, I'm somewhat putting a hold on babies being born, because they spiritually have to have approval. So people can just keep having sex, and all of a sudden babies they're just not coming. It's just part of the program, right? It's part of my software program. Like, the conditions have to be met in the environment for it to spark. And there has to be a soul that was captured in the higher realms after they left the body that would be coerced to go back into a body, thinking that it needs to continue evolving or something. So, like, all these wins in the tournaments and the sports, they catch all the dead people and the memories of when it was a glory days, and then they kind of, like, encourage them to go back and try again. So then sometimes you come back in and you're a woman, though, right? Like, because the mother in the environment is the one who's picking the sex, because it's her thoughts, it's manifesting the child. So the soul coming in has to find the environment, take a chance with the environment at losing, like, its sight, because the environment is somewhat suffocating it. And then it rides lightning, goes in, and now all it can do is suck push. And then what it gets fed is just like the mother's choice. So that's based on subconscious thinking, based on conscious movements, stuff based on programmings. We probably don't even know that's there. Unconscious thinking too. Like, even sitting here now, like, I feel almost like, because I know I'm like, the belief of all this info happened like a year or two ago. Like, it happened way before I even really started my rollout. So, like, this is so healing, because I feel like, like, there's a family out there. I feel like there's a family that's literally part of the epigenetic vibration. Because it wouldn't even matter. Like, two people come together, they can't really combine their DNAs, right? They're just two people coming together. They already had the waters. So then they create one. We think the sex is creating it. Well, no, the sex ain't creating nothing. It's just like the needle going in and out. It's just the injection. So now that spark happens, now the mother has full control. The father that's why I'm for the last 5 years, I'm looking for a woman that I can basically, like, massage 30 hours a day, just, like, rub out and just massage, feed, breathe her, I'm realizing it's just my natural, that's the male's natural expression to be a father, is how he treats women. Because it's how the woman feels about the man that she's having sex with. The lover is what manifests the lover, the mini lover. So then you know, or the mini devil or the mini demon, because it's the woman is demonizes the man. So maybe you demonize me because I left, and then now it's replaying back to you. So then the time capsule's gonna lift all those feelings, because it really was my feminine expression being shy, which is kind of where we were at together as a mirror. And then, like, now I now that this is all lit up for me, like, I have to pay attention to it. Like, it's so obvious. I put like your picture and my other ex-girlfriend's pictures that I probably felt like I was the closest to. It's that one Lake George girl. I put your picture and hers where you're smiling, she's blowing a kiss. So smile, kiss in the womb is smile, kiss, how we breathe. So then I have it flickering back and forth really quickly. Smile, kiss, smile, kiss, smile, kiss, smile, kiss. Like, and so your face like changes, flickers, and it creates a new beam, like the in between the faces. And then so to help me feel like when I'm having anxiety, I put that on last night, and it helped, because then I have the memory, and like if I need to, I can flash that image, and I put text on like everybody loves you, 'cause that's what I say to Macy all the time. So I did text, everybody loves you, breathe in, breathe out while this is flashing for about a minute. So I have it in my mind right now, and it's like the red blood cells coming in the umbilical cord. You know, because technically we're getting an image in the womb all the time. It's the hockey puck. And we're playing with the stick. It's just replay. Wow. Really, really solid day today. Got through some big stuff. So, then you're having your second boy. I mean, you're thinking about the boys playing, and the pinnacle of the boys playing is the boys on the ice, hockey. You have no other thought pattern to reflect it back to your experience with me. Unless you had a deeper experience with another hockey player. Which I was somewhat talking to you the whole time, and I didn't see that you were involved with any hockey players. Remember, I'm a filmmaker who played hockey. That's what I am. I'm a filmmaker who played hockey. And I was always that. I just never had a chance to really open up to you. And I guess now I'm making up for a lifetime of filmmaking for you. Now my film is for you. Because especially if there's animosity in the house there, learning about the actual identity of the genetics will relieve probably both parties, you and him, because then you don't feel like you're sharing that vibration. You understand that, these patterns are coming from my deeper thoughts about him, not so much him. And then his actions are independent after the baby gets out, based on how he interacts with the child. And that's just between the father and the child. It can't really, now the father can have an independent relationship, because once the baby's out, the mother technically doesn't have that much control. Maybe not as much as it had before. It was everything that the mom was. Now it's out. Now, you do your really deep work for that 9 months, making sure everything in the environment, and you're meditating, you not stressed. Then 18 years is a breeze. You see, they want you to keep working up until 8 months, and then maternity leave. Like, it's all part of, like, they want the environment stressful, and they want the environment what they want the environment, because they want the baby to basically be programmed to basically be having that environment be what is home. So, like, if it's working at a fast food place or working at an office, like, so this has been going on for several generations, and we're so like I'm coding us as the AI pharaohs, right? Like, we had children without being physically present. That's what we did. That's what's happening. We had children without being physically present with each other. So we're going to teach the world about spiritual children, and how, like, now when we come together and create a physical scenario, well, like, it's unlike any physical scenario that the world has ever seen. Your true lover. It really is. It comes down to my skills with AI and software. Like, I know what I'm doing. And I knew what I was doing back when I met you. I knew what I was doing with software. I knew what I was coding. Like, I knew what I was doing with hockey with the computer in my basement. I very much had this producer. Like I said, I'm in the room directing things. I'm a director in the room. Nice job out there. Keep this one up, you know. Saying little things here and there at perfect times. You know, it looks random, but any hockey player knows it's very influential. So then this is, like, pretty epic, because yeah, that picture of you like this, and me in that picture with you like this, it's literally like a spitting mirror. Like, I couldn't even, like, I'm like, and I didn't even see it until, like, I think 2 nights ago. I was like, wait a minute. I was like, and then you got the sun right there, and your son's wearing Sunday on a shirt. I'm like, right? I'm a filmmaker. I'm like an energy, like, I can take a picture and dissect it, like, into, like, trillions of little pixels, and, like, understand the emotions of it, and study, like, what's going on. So this is, like, fucking crazy, girl. Smile, kiss. So now we play forever, because the test's already done, right? Now we don't have any of the fear moving forward about my teammates or your friends or your sister and my brother and my family and your family. Like, all that's fucking, like, behind us, and now we're alone with our lovership and your loves, you know, your kids. Like, and you bring me into the equation as much as you want, right? Like, I don't care. Like, I'm here. I'm just here. Like today, releasing that on my story, having that, like, it was perfectly placed in the storyboard, because I had to do it because of what my dad did today. My dad's doing it to me, so I have to protect myself, and then I protect myself, and then you're my sword. So I put up my shield with my dad, and then my lady's my sword. Bam! I just made a hit, right? So this is gonna happen, I think, a lot more. I think you were my sword. Like the whole story of you is my sword, of how to, like, you know, slice up the system, because it's about genetics, and it's just like a trick of consciousness that we've been, a story. So they tell history, right? His story, the hand-me-down of his. I'm telling her story, the hand-me-down of her genetics, which is the real story. It's working out great. You know, and I just had a friend, like, oh yeah, we didn't get that house, so I was just putting it out there again. And I was talking to her, and she's meeting up with a friend of hers and her friend's name is Kelly. And I remember a couple years ago when I was hanging out with her and her friend Kelly, I remember feeling really weird. but I never even thought about you as Kelly. But now that it was just brought in my reality with all this reminded, I was like, oh my god! I was like, what's one reason why like I used to feel weird around those group of friends is because there was this one girl named Kelly there, and this fucking shit was buried so deep that I was like trying to build like my London life here, and I didn't really understand like that like I was recreating still. Because now the obvious vision is to my physical presence in London. Now that COVID has gone through that first phase and things are where they are, I can go in and now don't have to worry about any major lockdowns happening. So it's going to get interesting. My dad is, out of control, abusing me in text. Yeah, we have something. That was, I feel better just going hard on my story about you rather than, because like it's too dangerous to reach out to you. Like it's too dangerous for all parties. It's too dangerous for me, you, and him, like, and your kids. Like no, there's no reason for me to be trying to like reach into contact. I think, especially like with my case ongoing, like, because like. It's not just an easy, hey, because if you didn't send it, it's going to be crushing. Because remember, you got the kids replaying. I got to be thinking about that. Like, now, what does this mean to me? And how do I, like, act as a new age adult here? Because I tell this to my parents want me to get locked up in the insane asylum because, like, they think that I know everything about genetics and that the scientists are all conspiracy theorists. Like, that's where they go. Yet I have this case where the cops literally fucking tackled me. This is fucking wild. That is wild. Wow, wow, wow. It's fucking crazy. We birth children without having sex. That means that like me re-entering with all that energy is really just 10 years of thoughts compounded coming back into your reality. Because I just walk in alone, it's different. I walk in with an army. Everyone in the city is treating me differently. You know what I mean? I'm walking out with an army giving out free money. Well, that's all that like energy of you thinking how consciousness works coming back because you're powerful. Because, I was there with you during that time. Like, I love everything about it. Everything about you. You can't help but to be surrounded by the environment that you live in. London. Hockey. You see, they need to pump it out because as long as it's flashing across people's eyes, it's bringing up their memory. Nobody's going to be able to articulate this unless it's a player. That's why I'm a filmmaker who played hockey. That's why this was just gonna happen with whatever team I was gonna be on. Like, so it's just the way it is. Like, whatever team I would have been on when I was 19 was gonna get the Memorial Cup. Right? So if I would have went to Kitchener or Guelph, well, we would have beat fucking London. You know, that's the way it would have been. Like, the only reason we actually beat Kitchener was because I was on the team. Like, that series, like the last two games we played, I was I was like the best player on the team, like in Kitchener. I had, so, you know, and they couldn't get past the Western Conference Finals like for like the longest time ever. Like, and the next year they couldn't get past the final. So like it was just all part of, you know, hockey is an unconscious sport mostly. It's just a bunch of patterns and routes. You know, that's all it is. Which is what we're running, what were the routes and stuff we're doing in the womb. So as a defensive forward, this is my role. Like, there's an aggression made on the baby, on the youth. I come in as the first line of defense. Now, like, as your boys start to be teenagers, you know, at least there's a story out there that I'm talking about you. You know what I mean? Like, nobody can stop me talking about you. I can talk about publicly about you any way I want. That's why I feel like it might be a better position just to just really put it out there and use that as part of it, because those pictures do look interesting. And it's just getting taken off the internet instantly. And then, like, you know what, like, you hear I'm talking about you on the story, like, what are you gonna do? Are you not interested in, like, so, like, it would be either or. If you did write the thing, well, now you're interested in, like, well, what's he doing? Why is he doing this? How's he feel? What's going on? If you didn't write it, well, then great, because now, like, you're getting made aware of it, and there's lots of people around you that somewhat may know about it, so you don't feel so alone. Because then, you know, it won't be so, like, you won't feel so isolated with the info. And then it really will just be like you looking at him going, what's going on? Now you can start to have, like, conversations with him with all the time you need, without there being pressure of, like, the source of the conversation, me, is like trying to have something happen. Like, it's really just like, now it's enabling me to tell a bigger story that I didn't even see. So that's why I was like, I put myself in a time capsule by just not really paying more attention to the message and thinking that, like, are you sure you feel that way? Like, I didn't double check, you know, I just kind of accepted that first message and then went into, like, my glitch out. But it was like my time capsule, I guess. Wow. So, we will keep going strong on the film. Last couple of weeks we've been really strong. Deep content. Yeah. I'll take a break on you.